back at your past, what would you consider as being character building blocks that have shaped the person you've become today?
Okay, good question. I think that point at age 30 that I mentioned earlier, where I hit a personal wall and realized that I had just been drifting along with my life. You know, I got on. At the time, I was general manager of Beauties in Grafton Street, which I'd taken the role at age 28. And and I was very young for that role, but I was hardworking and capable, confident, competent. And that team that I managed then was about 200 strong. And the management team that ran the rest of the team was about 18 or 20 strong. And I was at the pinnacle of that, if you like. So your comment earlier about my ability to get others to, focus their efforts, their talents around a particular goal and accept that as a compliment, it is something I've developed over the years. And it's probably the only thing I'm good at. Right? So but I put that to good use for myself and for others. I help those who don't have those skill sets to direct their efforts in a meaningful and worthy way. So waking up at age 30 and realizing if something doesn't change here, Colm O'Brien, all you qualified yourself to do for the rest of your life is to work hard and earn a living, right? And that was nowhere near satisfying enough for me. So something I had to give. So that was a moment of truth for me. Stepping into my own business at age 35. So it took me 5 years of training, reading, looking at business people, building up my confidence to know that if I bet on myself, I'd be okay. And it took me 5 years from that point to get to the point where we actually took on our own business, which was a Beauties Cafe franchise in Limerick. And even at that, John, I found this one interesting, right? So we took it over the June bank holiday weekend in 1998. Okay. And we moved to Limerick in the June bank holiday. It took another 3 weeks to get the deal over the line. So we opened up on a Monday in June. We had the keys and we opened up on our first Monday, which was about the third Monday in June of 1998. And I was scared stiff, turned the key to open the door in my own business for the first time. And despite the fact that I had nearly 2 decades of experience running this type of business for other people, right? Including the biggest and most famous cafe in the country, Beauties in Grafton Street. Managed that for 4 years for somebody else, right? You couldn't get a bigger job in the industry. And yet here I was, turning the key in my own door, scared stiff, like literally. Thankfully, a very good friend of mine, one of my best friends, John Barry, had driven all the way down from Dublin that morning to Limerick to be our first customer, which was very nice of him. But I was delighted to see him for a whole lot of reasons, including it meant I didn't have to start. I could open the door and then abdicate my responsibilities and go have coffee and breakfast with my good friend here. And that lasted for about 45 minutes, but I could feel this welling up inside of me, Colm, you're evading. You need to start your avoiding. And eventually I told him, I said, John, I love you, but I gotta go. And I got stuck in. And of course then I was fine, like riding a bike, but I was scared stiff, John, which makes no sense. That cafe failed, another pivotal moment. That was 1998. By 2002, it was game over because we got a rent review, which brought our rent to €1,000 a day. €1,000 a day, John, selling cups of coffee in Limerick City Centre or a coffee shop. So we knew it was over. It took us another 3 years to exit, effectively losing €1,000 a day. And €1,000 a day, to all it did, John, was give us allowed us to turn the key in the door to go in and trade. That's all it did. It wasn't that our bills stopped there. They only started there. So that business failed spectacularly. But it led to school meals. And it led to my infamous, by this stage, man on the train moments that I talk about regularly, where one meeting on a train in uh, early summer 2003 led to us starting school meals business in the last quarter of 2003. We supplied 27 children on our first day, and we just finished our 20th year of school lunches. And we supplied 25,000 children on our last day of term, just gone. So, and we've grown and we've lost a bit, but we exceeded 1,000-fold volume in those years. Now, there's been other competitors going into the marketplace and we've lost a bit here and there. But we've still got an 8-figure business. Not that we still got, but we built an 8-figure business from the very humble beginnings. Our first week's turnover, John, some of our listeners might be interested, this was €160 for the week. And our last week of term this year, we probably invoiced about €350,000. So it's been some journey.
Yeah, that's a business you've been building over a number of years. And well done to you, Colm, for sticking it out, because a lot of people would have decided, I'll jump off this ship and try and find something else that can be generating more income quicker for me. But you stayed the course, and now you're reaping the rewards.